As promised, here are the answers with explanations of the complex numbers worksheet from section 4.2, actual worksheet. And we see that we have I lost my answer. My first answer was 7 plus 7i. Don't know where that went. Okay, so I look down here and I know that was number 1. And then for number 2, I'm looking for a negative 38 plus 69i. Okay, so that's number 2. Okay, negative 38 plus 69i. As I said earlier, you don't have to circle this. I'm just doing that so we can make sure that our answers are in the answer bank. So now we look down at number 3. We should have enough room to do this. We have 4i times a negative 2 minus 8i. So I'm going to distribute negative 4i times a negative 2. That's going to give me a negative 8i. Now, 4i minus times a negative 8i, that gives me a negative 32. And the 2 i's, I have an I squared. Now, we know from up at the top that I squared is a negative 1. So I have negative 8i minus 32 times the negative 1. And that actually becomes, I'm going to put because I want it to be a plus bi, I'm going to put 32 minus 8i. Okay, so I have 32 minus 8i. I do up here. So that is question number 3. Very good. Let's look at 4. So we have negative 3 minus 8i minus a negative 5 plus 7i. Because I'm subtracting, I'm really going to distribute this negative through my second parentheses, leaving me with a negative 3 minus 8i. Negative, a minus a negative, that becomes a plus 5. Minus, that's a negative, times a 7i, that becomes negative 7i. All right, combine my like terms. So let's see what we have, a negative 3 and a 5. Negative 3 plus 5, that leaves me with 2. And negative 8i minus 7i, that leaves me with a negative 15i. Okay, so let's tidy that up a little bit. 2 minus 15i. And of course, I see 2 minus 15i over here, and I can label that as question number 4. All right, now, looks like we wrapped around and have 5 at the very bottom. So negative 4i times 5i. When I multiply, I'm going to multiply my numerical part and then my i's. So negative 4 times 5, that will give me a negative 20. I times I is I squared. What do we say I squared was? I squared is a negative 1. So negative 20 times negative 1, that leaves me with a positive 20. Okay, so do I see 20 up there anywhere? I believe I saw it up here. I can label that as question number 5. Okay, now, let's see. Let me highlight my answers. So, whoa, that's not what I was supposed to do. How do you undo on this thing? I guess you don't. Let me rewrite that. 7 plus 7i. And I was trying to highlight, not erase. There we go. Highlight, do that in yellow. So we got 7 plus 7i. We've got the negative 38 plus 69i. We've got the 32 minus 8i. We've got the 2 minus 15i. And now we have 20. All right, so let's go back to working some problems. All right, let's see. Can we squeeze that in here? I don't think so. So let's go back to our blank page. All right, what did we say we had? $55 minus 48i. And we see that right here. So that's question number 6. Okay. Let's see. Now, how can we do this? Do I have enough space? All right. 6i to the third power. That really is 6i. I'm not going to have enough space. So let's go back to 55 minus 48i. Okay, very good. So now we're doing 6i raised to the third power. Okay, so we're not going to have enough room. We're going to go back to ours. We should have negative 216i. So we have that here. And that was question number 7. So negative 216i. And finally, we definitely have to do this on the other page. So let's scroll. And let's see, where do I have 39 minus 18i? There we go. And that is question number 8. So I'm gonna write my answer here. 39 minus 18i. That concludes the first part of the complex numbers. If you have any questions, when you see me on Thursday or Friday, please ask before the test starts. Thank you so much. See you for part 2. So let's do number 2 on our paper. We've got 7 minus 6i times a negative 8 plus 3i. So we can do this either using the FOIL method or the box method. I believe some of my classes like the FOIL method, some like the box method. So I am going to do both of them. I'll do one at a time. So let's do the FOIL method first. So FOIL, we have first, outer, inner, last. So let's look at, I'm going to rewrite my problem just so we have room. 7 minus 6i, negative 8 plus 3i. All right, so I'm going to do my first terms. That's 7 times a negative 8 plus, so I'm going to put my F up there because that's the first terms. My outside terms, I'll put my O there. Let me move this down just a little bit. So I do want you to be able to see where I'm doing my outer and inners. Okay, so for the F, I'm going to put 7 times negative 8. That's the F. Plus my outside terms. That's 7 times 3i. Put a little O there. Actually, we'll put the O down here. And then I need my inside terms. So I put a little I there. So that is a negative 6i times a negative 8. And that's the I part. O part, I part. And my last terms, that's my L part. So I have the negative 6i times a positive 3i. Okay, let's multiply. 7 times negative 8 is a negative 56, plus 7 times 3i is 21i, plus a negative 6i times a negative 8 is a 48i. Negative 6i times 3i is a negative 18i squared. Now, I'm going to write up here so we do not forget it. I squared equals negative 1, so I equals the square root of negative 1. So everywhere I see I squared, I will put a negative 1. So negative 18 times negative 1, that's going to give me a negative 56, plus I'm going to go ahead and combine my 21i and my 48i, leaving me with 69i. And then that's a negative 18. I squared is negative 1. That actually gives me a positive 18. So when I add that, let me rewrite that since I'm showing you steps. Negative 56 plus 69i. Negative 18 times negative 1 is a plus 18. Negative 56 plus 18, that leaves me with a negative 38 plus 69i. Okay, so let's go back to our, I'm going to erase all of that. Okay, so now we are looking at 8 minus 3i, and we square that. That really is 8 minus 3i times 8 minus 3i. Okay, I just realized on question number 2, I did not do the box method. So hope y'all followed the FOIL method. We're going to do the box method here because I really don't feel like going back to record this video another time. Let's see. So I'm going to draw my box. We're doing box method this time. And we're going to get the exact same answers if we had done FOIL. So we got our box. We have 8 minus 3i, 8 minus 3i. So in the box method, we're just going to multiply each of the sides of our box that have numbers. 8 times 8, that's going to give me a 64. 8 times a negative 3i, that gives me a negative 24i. Negative 3i times 8, that gives me another negative 24i. And negative 3i times negative 3i, the negative 3 times negative 3 gives me a positive 9i squared. Now, let's write that down here. 9i squared. I know that I squared is negative 1, so negative 1 times 9, that actually is negative 9. So let's replace this here with a negative 9. All right. Scroll up a little bit. I'm going to add up all 4 of my boxes. So I have 64 minus 24i minus 24i minus 9. Combine my like terms. I have the 64 minus 9. That's going to give me 55. And then I have a negative 24i minus 24i again. And that's going to give me a negative 48i. All right. So we're going to highlight that yellow. 55 minus 48i. So we're going to put 55 minus 48i on our paper. Let's go back a page. Blank page. I'm ready to delete all of this. So I have 6i raised to the third power. So really, that is just 6i times 6i times 6i. Okay, so let's just multiply these two at a time. 6i times 6i, that is 36i squared. And we recall right down here that I squared equals -1, which means I equals a square root of -1. All right, so let's not forget that. If where I have I squared, I'm going to now put -1. So I have 36i squared times 6i. So 36 times a -1 times 6i. Okay, I'm looking at -36 times 6i, and I can simply multiply -36 times 6. That gives me a -216i. All right, so let's go back to our page. Delete all of this. We will definitely need some space. I'm going to leave that I squared equals -1 and I equals square root of -1 because I just need that. So put that back down at the bottom of our page. So our final problem on side 1, we have a -3i times 6i minus 3 times a -7 plus 6i. So going back to our order of operations, first thing we want to do is the parentheses. Unfortunately, there's nothing in our parentheses that we can combine or any operations we could do. We have a -7 plus a 6i. So next thing we need to do is multiply. I have multiplication here, and I have multiplication there. So I'm going to do both of those. -3i times 6i, that gives me a -18i squared. Now remember, I squared is -1. Now, I'm going to multiply that -3 times the -7, which will give me a positive 21. And I'm going to multiply that -3 times the 6i, which will give me a -18i. Okay, I know I squared is -1. So yes, I'm putting a lot of extra steps in, but hopefully it helps somebody. I have -18 times -1 plus 21 minus 18i. -18 times -1, that is a positive 18, plus 21 minus 18i. Combine my like terms. And 18 plus 21, that is 39 minus 18i. I cannot combine any of those. So 39 minus 18i, that should be my answer, which you see right there.